guys? Today I'm going to be talking about idol worship. Now, many of you do worship at the altar of an idol. You may be asking yourself or asking me, I don't worship at the altar of other gods. I don't worship any other gods but the true God. But an idol can be anything in your life, anything that you put above God, whether it be money, whether it be food, whether it be your phone, technology, or any material item, or even a girl or a guy. If you put them above God, they become an idol in your life. Now, many people idolize preachers, bow down to them, praise them, and even pray in their names, which I think is wrong. And the Bible shows it here in Matthew 4. Then Jesus, led up by the Spirit, into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward a-hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command these stones to be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against the stone. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again the devil taketh him up into an exceedingly high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them. And he saith unto him, All these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt not worship the Lord thy God, and him thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Now Jesus knew the words of God. Well, because he is God. He's the Son of God, but he also is God. And Jesus knew, but he did not stick his hand out and say, Flee, Satan. No, he did not use his glory. He did not use his glory to defeat Satan. He used the words of the Bible, what we could use today, what a lot of people never use, even for idol worship. Yes, they do read one part of the Bible that says that the Israelites worshipped at the altars of other gods and ate from the food of the altars of other gods. But they never learn that anything in your life can become an idol. Anything in your life. Anything that you put above God. Rather it is money. Rather it is that new sports car. Rather it is your cell phone. Rather it is anything in your life. Now Judas the Iscariot, he used to follow Jesus, and he traded Jesus in for money, for material gain. You know how awful that is? And how so many people trade Jesus in or put Jesus in the back seat of their lives so that they can gain so much more from this life. You don't realize this life is fleeting, and the devil knows that, and he wants to bring as many people down as he can. Now, it is said here that Jesus was led up by the Spirit. You have that Spirit too, and he will lead you in your life. Rather, he'll tell you, if you have the Spirit, he'll tell you that it's a temptation, or he'll not let you be tempted, or you will be tempted, but you will know and you won't fall into that temptation. Of course, you will fail a lot in this life, but that doesn't mean you should put anything above God. Rather, it is lust. Rather, it is the new fancy thing that you got, the new fancy toy, a sports car, or anything in your life. The devil will put those things in front of you and say, oh, it's fine. You're not putting it above God. You're not participating in idol worship. No, but you are. If you put anything above God, the first thing you should do in the morning is to pray. The last thing you should do is to pray. The only thing that you should put in front of your life is God, because he's your creator and he died for you. It makes me sad to think that many, many people are going to hell, that think they're going to heaven, all because of idol worship, all because they think they can do whatever they want and God will forgive them. The Pharisees were a lot that way. They would preach the word of God, but they wouldn't practice what they preached. They were false preachers of the word, and they would always condemn people when they did the thing that they did. When they would fall into sin, they would condemn them and say, you're going to hell, when they were doing the exact same thing. They would follow into worship. They would commit sins of lust. They would be greedy. They'd be selfish. And they would always come to Jesus and try to tempt him and try to call him out and try to say that he is false. There's a doctrine out there that says Jesus is only a prophet. He's not the Son of God. There's doctrines out there that say Jesus is not the only way to heaven. There are many doctrines out there that say you can do whatever you want and God will forgive you. And then there's the prosperity gospel. The prosperity gospel focuses on material gain, and they say that God will give you whatever you want, and they say call it out into the spirit realm and God will give it to you. They play God like a genie in a bottle. They play God like their own little miracle worker that can do whatever they want. That is idol worship. You're worshiping at the altar of material gain. You're not worshiping the one true God. It's false. I tell you guys, do not fall into that trap. Do not fall into whatever those people say, because it's wrong. The only thing that you could follow, the only thing you should follow, is the Word of God. It is the best thing in your life, and it's the only thing that you should follow. If a preacher is preaching something other than the Word of God, leave that church. Do not attend that church no more. And find a church that will preach the Word of God. Churches have become soft. They've been trying to be content to the world. They've been trying to be more like the world. There was this one church out there. I heard this from a video that I watched. But there was this one church out there that that went around asking people what they would like to see in church to make it more of a better experience for them. Church should be only about God and only for God, so that you could worship God with songs and praise, and so that you can bow down to Him and Him alone. The church is not for only people. The church is not about what you want and what they can do to satisfy you. No, it's about God. Stop worshiping at the altar of idols. If you are, find that out. Pray to God about it, and do not let it grab a hold of you, and do not let it make you think that God will forgive me. I can do whatever I want. That is not true. Jesus said, "If you love me, then obey my commands." And Jesus commands you to worship the Lord thy God and the Lord thy God alone, not anything else. I love you guys. I hope this video helped you guys out, and see y'all next time. God bless.